Okay, so welcome back to what is going to be our awesome Ovember podcasts. I am the host today, Steve O'Mystic, although I'm sure Colin will be taking over momentarily as host. Colin?
Hi.
Samuel?
Hi.
Nice to see you, Samuel. Okay, so I'm in Florida, and you guys are where today?
We're in Utah.
Okay. I'm willing to come to Utah to make these, more formidable podcasts if, you guys want me to do that. It's just a couple days in the car.
Yeah, we said to Steve, and we said in the episode before, we're staying at an Airbnb. And Steve texted us, oh, you said, I don't understand that concept. Does that mean you pay by the day? Does somebody pay you to stay there? How does this work?
Yeah.
So
Well,
I thought we'd start the pod by explaining what Airbnb is. It's basically like you just pay normal. Like we paid for like 3 weeks, and we share it with other people. So you can't really come live with us because it's just us in a room.
that's the part I didn't understand, that you're actually sharing a larger house with strangers.
Yeah, we are. And
Well, first of all, how strange are the strangers?
they're pretty nice. Everyone we've met is pretty great.
You know what that makes me think of? You wouldn't know this, of course, because this is going to be a new story, but I used to rent cars in Beverly Hills from, actually, this was in Santa Monica, from Avis. And they told me that there was a picture of Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin on the wall. And I said, why is there a picture of Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin on your wall? And they said, well, he used to be one of our, biggest, best clients until we banned him. And I'm like, you banned Robert Plant from renting cars? And they said, yes, because apparently he's a chain smoker, or was at that time, and would bring cars back with cigarettes overflowing out of the ashtray on the floor, ashes all over the place in the car, filthy and smelling. So he was banned. And I just badmouthed Robert Plant on our second podcast. I'm not sure why, but don't edit it out.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
I do not.
Have you ever?
I smoked cigarettes when I was very young. Yes, I did.
And then you quit? Was it hard to quit?
It was really easy to quit. I remember I was 14. We just smoked some weed with my friend Paul Clark, and we had split a pack of cigarettes. So we each had 10 each. It was like a pack of Marlboro. We were at the Glen Oaks movie theater, and as we left the theater, I gave him my half of the pack. I said, "Hey, I'm not going to smoke anymore."
And that was that. You just stopped smoking.
Yes, I stopped smoking cigarettes.
What do you think about like the kids these days with the vapes and the Juuls and all these like toxic, like do you think Trump was right in banning Juuls?
Trump banned them.
Yeah, for like yeah, I think well, is that right, Samuel? Can you fact check that? I'm pretty sure he banned
Okay,
Juuls.
it might have been Trump that signed the paper, but I believe that was a Michelle Obama initiative.
Well, I support the initiative, and I think Trump really wanted to ban TikTok as well, which is like the only thing I support that he's ever done.
What?
You can still buy Juuls for now, but FDA is still making a final decision.
Was that, do you know if that was an executive order or like not an executive order, but like, was that a presidential decision or was that some kind of legislative thing?
I can't see it coming up right here, but from what I remember, it was Trump's decision.
Okay, you guys do realize something, that this whole executive order business is a dictatorship. It has nothing to do with representative government.
But I think all of this like comes from also the fact that in the United States we place way too much emphasis on one branch of government in particular, and it's the president, and that's just because it's the easiest branch to see and to talk about, and it makes the most sense. And just now people are getting interested in the Supreme Court, and that's because no one's paid attention to it for so long, and now things are really going down, and people are like, "Whoa, we only cared about who the president was," and I think it's done us a lot of harm to kind of not pay attention to these other branches of government.
All right, I'm going to need a full-time cardiologist on standby when we do these podcasts because I'm nearly having a heart attack with what you're saying.
Why? Don't you think Americans are obsessed with the rat race and obsessed with, like, the identity politics and the personality and the, like, what man is gonna be president? Ever since you were a little kid, it's always like, "Oh, are you gonna grow up and be president?" Like, it's always, no one's ever I mean, now I guess now they're talking about Congress or the Supreme Court, but my hunch is that no one was talking to me about that as a kid because no one really knew how it worked.
Okay, you do realize that what they're doing with the Supreme Court is not bringing attention to them, but trying to destroy their authority.
But
Nothing comes after but.
but the authority of the Supreme Court is dictated by the president, right? Because the president appoints these Supreme Court
Oh,
justices.
I'm going to die. I don't know how I thank God my Habibi's father is a decorated heart surgeon because this is I'm getting palpitations of the brain.
Oh,
My brain is throbbing right now by what you're saying.
who is your Habibi?
My Habibi?
Yeah.
Okay, my Habibi is my cousin's husband who works at Rumble.
Steve, you know what
Here,
Habibi means.
Well, I thought I knew what Habibi means. It means my beloved.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what all these Muslims call each other. Don't you know that? They all call each other Habibi,
like,
and they kiss each other on the
okay,
mouth. By the way, did you know that?
yeah. I
It's not funny.
I think no, I
Okay,
think
it is
I
funny.
knew that. I think I kind of know that.
Well, I didn't know until he like was standing 3 inches from my face. He's like 2, 3 inches taller than me, and he goes, "I have no problem kissing you on the lips." I was like, "Yeah, it's like that."
Did you like it?
Which part?
Kissing on the lip.
We did not kiss.
You refused?
It didn't progress. Thank God he's married.
To which I refused.
No one's gonna understand this part of the segment, but I'm not letting get you. You're not getting off the hook on this presidential powers business. Leg
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no,
Whoa,
no. I wanna go
whoa.
I wanna I wanna go back there too. Can't you just agree with me that in the United States, we put way too much emphasis on who the president is, and it takes us away from who's really calling the shots in this country? Don't you think can you agree with me on that?
No, I can't because I don't even know what you're talking about. My heart stopped before the brain has not received oxygen since you said something about the executive order being okay. It's
No.
it's not
No, no,
okay.
no,
It's
no.
not okay.
Th I don't disagree with that, but I want you to go into that further.
Okay, it's simple. Executive order is the way the presidents are bypassing the legislative process, which is the essence of our government.
But can't the other branches of government do things as well that bypass the other branches? I mean, isn't that kind of the whole point?
No,
And
there's not
shouldn't
supposed to be any bypassing of any branch. There's supposed to be three separate branches: legislative, executive, and
and
yeah.
judicial, and they check each other, but check is, like a synonym for What do we say? Bypassing?
Well, I mean,
Isn't it?
Vladimir Putin signs executive orders, but they're not called executive orders, they're called decrees. So why don't we just change the word executive order to decree and call it what it really is, dictatorship.
Isn't it like Donald Trump who made the most executive orders out of any president in
Actually,
history?
no, Joe Biden set the record in the first 30 minutes of his presidency, sat down and did like 150 of them, by the way. Don't fact check me, I don't know how many it was.
Can you can you fact
No,
check that
it's not even
too?
important how many it was. I mean, that's he reversed every single thing that Trump did.
Well, Trump just reversed every single thing that Obama did.
I don't know if that's
So
true. I mean,
it is true. The second Trump was elected, they took down all the pages on the White House for like LGBTQ plus and for climate change. And like literally the second he got into office, they took down all these White House pages.
Day one, Joe Biden made 17 executive orders, but they were pretty much all reversing Trump's actions, yeah.
That's
okay, so
wild.
the first one was the Keystone Pipeline. So oil was no longer flowing from Canada into your neck of the woods, the Midwest up there. I think it was, and I don't know. He put what 70,000 people out of work.
To fight climate change or what?
No, no. So so the oil traders would know to cover their shorts, and that a massive rally in oil futures was about oil futures, gas, heating oil. The entire sector went into a massive bull market, and of course, I should have known this because that's what they do, but I didn't.
Speaking of oil, I've got a question for you. I saw something on Instagram the other day about this group, Just Stop Oil. I don't know if you've heard of them, but
Yeah, what the
they're
hell?
yeah, they're in the UK and they're like spray painting like government buildings orange and they're kind of like I think they're like throwing canned goods
And
at
paint,
art
and
pieces
paint,
and paint
and
and
tomato
like
sauce.
take yeah, like what are your thoughts?
Uh, they should be hung. What do you mean? What are my thoughts?
What? Don't you think it's, like, an incredible act of performance art, and they're, like,
Yeah,
just
and the performance
angry
should
and
end with.
I think you're gonna have to cut that, Sam. So, Steve, what do you think about
I
them?
here's what I think. I think that their performance act should end with self emulation. That's where a person sets themselves on fire, right?
Do you agree with burning fossil fuels? Do you think it'll work out?
Yeah, try flying a fighter jet without one.
Why do we need to fly fighter jets?
Well, first of all, because they're fun.
This is the difference between men and women.
Well, according to Joe Biden, we need them if we're going to try to overthrow the government, even though the Taliban didn't have any
The government of
in the United States. That's a comment that Joe Biden made,
Steve.
Colin.
Do you vote?
I almost voted yesterday, but I missed it. I didn't know that it closed at 7 o'clock, and it was a quarter to seven. The line was too long, so
Where do you do your food shopping?
oh, I go to Publix.
Publix, that's so Florida.
Uh,
You ever been to Trader
I
Joe's?
uh, I don't like Trader Joe's at all. It's a lefty joint. It's a commie joint. It started, I think it
Why?
started in San Francisco, and their portions are small and their prices are high.
No, I thought their prices are low because they get everything their own brand. So everything is like Trader Joe's brand, and that's how they're able to keep costs
I don't
down.
trust them, and it probably comes from China.
Why don't you trust them? They have a whole podcast where they actually talk about their entire business model and like the history of Trader Joe's.
I don't know, maybe because the first Trader Joe's I went into was in San Francisco. It was really small and their prices were really high, and that's my impression of Trader Joe's.
That's shocking to me. Trader Joe's started in Pasadena, not, San Fran.
Okay, well, I mean, it's not like they're not.
But
related, yeah.
California.
It was very small. I didn't like it. I like Publix, and there's a girl at
What
Publix
about
I
Whole
like. I
Foods?
like Whole Foods, but I
Bezos?
mean, what?
Bezos owns it. You know
Jeff
that?
Bezos owns Whole Foods?
Yeah.
Has he improved it?
I don't know. I
I
haven't
don't have
noticed
anything against Jeff
anything.
Bezos. I don't know enough about him to care.
Why?
I mean, he doesn't interest me.
He's like a
Yeah, okay,
billionaire.
so, I mean, I think Elon Musk is an idiot, so, I mean, where you wanna go from there? I mean, you know,
But you like Jeff
I
Bezos?
mean, I don't dislike him, I don't know anything about him, I have no interest in him. I actually think Kanye West is smarter than all of them.
What about wait, whoa, whoa, whoa. Steve, you're Jewish.
What what's your point?
Do you I don't know if you know or not. I can't
You
tell.
don't know if I know that Kanye West just pulled the biggest charade on the country and the people that he was in contract with by pretending to hate Jew
How come every time a crazy guy does something, we're like, "No, no, no, he's actually a
He
genius.
is.
He's just pretending." Like, why do you guys always say that about, like,
It's not
Trump
pret
and
he's not
Kanye? Like,
pretending.
maybe they're not geniuses, like, maybe they just really are like, no, maybe, like, Elon's not, like, pretending, like, in a genius to buy Twitter, like, maybe he's just being stupid and, like
Uh, Elon Musk was stupid for buying, Twitter at, what was it, $54 a share when he could have bought the whole thing for 32 to 34 in the open market. So, what he essentially has done is take Twitter private. So what he's going to be doing now is charging people and making Twitter real. Now, I think that he's doing that because he has no choice. He was going to probably lose in court because he didn't cover himself properly on his contingency clauses, let's say. But so he was going to have to buy the company anyway. And it's possible that through some of his friends, they did wind up with an average price in the 30s or 40s. There's really no telling. One thing about Elon Musk is he's not stupid, and he's got some of the people around him, like Peter Thiel, if I'm saying his name right, uh, Peter Thiel,
mhm.
or Peter Thiel, who was involved
Mhm.
with was a PayPal and I think Netscape. He goes back a long time. People don't like Peter now because he's a MAGA man. People don't like Kanye now because he's a MAGA man. The fact.
No,
Whoa,
no,
whoa,
no.
what,
No,
what,
no, no, no,
what?
no. Kanye no, no, no. Kanye is just mentally
No,
ill
no, 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 no,
and having an episode, and he said
no. That was the
publicly
most
he's
strategic thing that he did. He got out of multiple contracts just by going DEFCON on the Jews. And what the hell does that mean? Nothing.
no one
You know what it
knows.
mean? Know what it
But
means? It means that he stepped up his game and he played these people that he was under contract with because now they all in mass dropped him out of his contracts and now he doesn't owe them anything.
no, this is what I think. I think he said publicly he has a mental illness or maybe something adjacent, but listen, he has a breakdown, he says some crazy stuff, and then everyone just forgets that he's mentally ill and treats him like he's canceled. I just think
Whoa. You
there's this
just didn't
double
listen to
standard.
anything I just said, which is probably the way this is going to go the whole time, isn't it?
I'm listening, but I think there's a double standard. I think it's, like, fine if you're depressed and anxious if you, like, look cute while doing it and you're not bothering anyone else. But then when you, like, actually are having an episode and you actually need help, our greater culture tends to ignore real mental illness when it's, like, at work. We tend to, like, you know glorify when it looks good and when it fits our agenda, and it's the same with, like, making Kanye into a genius or making Trump into a genius, like, that's cool and that fits your agenda that he's, like, playing all these people, but I just don't think it's close to reality.
Oh, okay, so pretzel logic was the last episode, so I can't use that here, but you're doing it again.
I'm sitting like a pretzel. I am crisscross applesauce on the
All right,
floor.
here's what's up, okay? Let me tell you what's up. The first thing I want to know is, have you ever heard the term or the word called the ecosystem?
No, I haven't.
What Kanye has done is he's gotten it within like a few weeks. He's gotten himself out of all of these restrictive contracts that would probably, because I don't know what the terms of his contracts are, but probably would have beholden him to many of these corporations for profits on things that they had nothing to do with.
He lost billions of or millions or he lost a lot of
No,
money. He
no,
lost, like, most of his
no,
wealth.
no. What no, no. What he lost was future gain. No one is coming back to Kanye and saying, "You have to pay us now." On the contrary, they're probably paying him to get out of these contracts. That's number 1.
Why do you think he chose Jewish people? Why not say something else? Was MAGA not crazy enough? He
No,
needed
no,
to
because
go
that's who's
some other.
because that's who's on the other side of his contracts.
I don't really care about the specifics of what he was doing. I just don't like the way the culture reacted to it.
No,
I think
but
it
on the contrary, what he did was he knew how the culture was going to react, and that's why he played that card.
I didn't. I think the culture was pretty shitty. I think the culture reacted not good. I thought everyone would be like, "Oh, he's having an episode, let's help him." But instead, everyone like raced to cancel him, and I kind of thought we were over that. I thought the pendulum had evened out and we were going to treat people like normal again, and I just didn't think that we were still in,
That
you
reminds
know,
me
I
of a quote. That reminds me of a quote. I don't know exactly who it was. I think it was Richard Heydrich, and what he said was it could have been Hitler himself, but I think it was Heydrich, and it could have been Eichmann. What they said was, "No matter what we do to you, you still can't believe that we're doing it to you." Do you understand the context I'm using this in? It's like you thought the cancel culture was over when the Nazis are in control. Things are only getting worse. Only getting
no, it's always the pendulum swing. The
No, no,
pendulum.
no.
It
The
always goes
pendulum
crazy and then it goes back.
only swings back when the Nazis are not in control. When normal people are in control, but that's not who's running the show. And I don't care if they're Jews, if they're Nazis. I don't care if they're Jews. There's Jewish Nazis too, you know.
Wh What have you ever experienced anti-Semitism?
Yes,
In what
in
way?
every way.
Explain.
Well, I was 13 during the Yom Kippur War when they had bumper stickers in New York City on the back of cars that said "Burn Jews, not oil."
Really?
Yeah, and I had confrontations with, let's say, groups of other ethnic groups, just because I was Jewish. By the way, none of these people were black. Okay, they didn't have that type of racism. They were suffering still, but there was Irish kids all the time. I would only the only reason why we were fighting was because I was Jewish, and they were probably being beaten at home and taking it from behind from their preacher. Yeah, that happened a lot too in my neighborhood. We found out later the priests were raping some of the boys, and some of these boys became very violent in the community, and nobody really knew why. Well, it came out later. Now we know why.
It's a shame. Do you think a lot has changed between, when you were a kid and now?
For who?
Good question. I just mean, mm,
No, nothing's changed.
I don't know, you got me. You got me
Nothing's
there. That was
changed. I
good.
mean, nothing's changed, and everything's changed. But let's not finish with Kanye yet. Since you haven't heard of what the
I
ecosystem
think
is.
people are over it.
Oh,
I think people are
wait till they
over it. It's
find
old
out
news.
what he's done. Sam, if you got a moment, I'm sorry, Samuel, if you have a moment, look up the word ecosystem, Y-E, and then ecosystem, the ecosystem, and look at all of the slew of patents that Kanye's team filed after all of his contracts were canceled. And look what he's doing going forward. He's going to be bigger than Bill Gates. First of all, he's already more popular than Bill Gates can ever be. And he's going to be bigger than Bill Gates and Bezos because none of them are doing anything to promote the better life of the average human. But Kanye is. When
How? In what way?
you have to, it's not apparent to the public yet.
Why do we give celebrities such titles of genius? Like, why do we look just because they happen to be in the public eye, we think that they're, like, making these chess moves, and the public is the game board, like
Can I just chime in about the Kanye thing?
Please.
He has trademarked the word ecosystem, Yeezyverse, and Yeezyverse, and he plans to build a mini city, including homes, residential buildings, retail stores, and grocery stores, all Kanye branded. And that's, I think, what you're referring
Yeah,
to. But
that's exactly what I'm referring to. And he doesn't have to share that profit with any of the people that he's contractually obligated to prior to him going DEF CON.
yeah, but he no one's gonna buy his products. I mean, he's done. He's done in the culture. I don't know where he's gonna go from here, especially if his name is attached to it. I mean, he's done.
We are so opposite, you and I. Just so we're we don't see we don't agree on anything
I know, except, like
except of how good our podcast is going to be as a result.
and how good pad thai is.
Does anybody know that I called you the Robin to my Howard Stern when we first met?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
that's what happened here. Let me people, let me explain what happened here. Okay. I started telling stories. I don't know. I was high, and there were some cute girls on the pool deck, and I just got into my storytelling mode, as most Pisces will do when given the floor. Okay, let's just put that Albert Einstein was a Pisces, but let me not get off here. Okay, let me
And Kurt Cobain, but let's
Cobain.
get mhm.
Well, what the hell was his problem then?
Wait. You were you were gonna say something cute and nice about the Howard Stern metaphor.
Oh
Finish
no!
that.
Oh no! You meant it was going to be a compliment for you, is what you mean. Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. I just want to make sure that we were on the same comment. All right. So what
Mhm.
happened was, I'm at the Coast Palace Hotel at this tiny pool, and then this the couple walked up, and it was Colin and Samuel. Everybody knows this from the first.
Callen. My name is Callen. We have known each other for so long, and you just called me Colin.
I thought that's how,
My name
I thought
it's
that's how you. I
Callen.
thought that's how you pronounce it.
You've said it right every other time. It's
Oh, you know
Callen.
why I'm calling you Cullen all of a sudden? Because of the picture that you sent where I said you look sullen.
Steve, your mind, I don't know.
I'm a Pisces. Just stay tuned. Just watch the show. That's how it works.
Okay, carry
All right.
on
So what happened was,
with the
yeah.
compliment.
So
Carry
what
on.
happened was, I was like telling like my CIA police stories and my Secret Service stories, and you were looking at me with this incredulous, "You're so full of crap" look, and you were like questioning me, like telling me you didn't believe me, but you weren't saying that. Your face was saying it, but your words were so much kinder that I couldn't help but like you. I was like, wait a minute, this girl is trying to find a way to rip my story and me apart, and maybe perhaps ruin my chances with Valerie, which I thought were good at the moment. And Valerie, you know that I thought that there was a shot, right? Okay, I'm just saying. I mean, I didn't know you were checking out LA. I mean, I know you're listening. I know I promised that I was going to have you on as a guest, and you are going to be a guest. And assuming that you want to be a guest still, especially after I'm telling people that I was planning on coming on to you. Well, actually, I kind of thought I did in a way. Well, I came onto her
Okay.
the same way, hold on, the same way that that you were calling me a bullshitter about my stories. I mean, and you were essentially, and that made me like you because I liked the way you were doing it. And that's when I realized that we should do a podcast together because
Yeah.
because not that Howard Stern is a genius, but he did create a genre, and not that I'm trying to invent the wheel. If he's so stupid and he could create a yes, I called Howard Stern stupid. He says the stupidest things.
I'm so confused, like, who you like and who you dislike in popular culture. I'm shocked you like Elon Musk, you don't or you like Kanye, you don't like
Hang on a second.
Bezos, or
I
you don't.
think Elon Musk is an idiot.
Yeah, let's go through some popular
Wait a minute. I've
figures. Sam
told
Fran
Elon Musk to his face he's an idiot. I'm sorry, not to his face, to his Twitter face, that he's just done he doesn't says stupid things. I don't know. He smoked a joint with Joe Rogan, and as a result, his entire company had to take urine tests for 12 months after that. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that part of
Yeah,
it, but I watched
yeah.
the
There's
video.
clauses in government contracts that there's drug clauses, but he did that to his whole company. I mean, they must have hated him. That means none of his people could get high for a year.
Anyways, um, speaking of Joe Rogan, you know Graham Hancock, right?
Not personally, but we've communicated on. Oh, no, it's Greg Braden. Yeah, Graham Hancock. Yeah, I know who he is.
And you like him?
Well, I mean, he's a little misinformed on some things, but he's been at the game a really long time before the information has come out that refutes some of the things that he's believed in his whole life. But yeah, I mean, he's a groundbreaker.
Samuel and I are good fans. What do you think about Walt Disney?
Well, he was a Nazi, but well, Disney was good. I mean, I know he was into LSD, and so were his people. I had quite a few people from Disney working for me, and they were all into psychedelics and things. So I mean,
Working for you where?
oh, you didn't know I had a video game development company and the first Xbox kits in the world?
I thought you worked for a video game company, but I didn't know you had people like working under you
Yeah, I
directly.
was a chairman and CEO of the company. I had 40 employees.
Do you want to go into
I'd rather
it?
not.
Okay. Uh, Tom Cruise?
What about him?
What about I mean, what do you
Oh,
think
here's what
about
I think
him?
about him. I
Did you
just saw Top Gun in Thai on a big monster screen outside my hotel last week. That's what I think of Tom Cruise. I walked out of the hotel
did you
and I saw Tom Cruise. He was like 80 feet tall.
did you like the
I
movie?
thought it was ridiculous. I mean,
What do you think about what why?
well, first of all, it was in Thai. I didn't understand any of it. So, yeah,
Okay,
I mean, so we're talking, Tom Cruise is talking, his lips are moving, and it's coming out in another language. I mean, it was ridiculous.
but overall,
I like Tom Cruise overall. I don't disagree with some of the things he said regarding Brooke Shields. That was very controversial at the time, but he said it because he loved her and he was hoping to help her. Um,
he's a Scientologist.
I have no problem with Scientology at all. I know
Okay,
exactly what Scientology is. I've read their books. I moved on from it. It wasn't for me, but I got value out of the Scientology book from L. Ron Hubbard. I think it is L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard,
Yeah,
yeah,
I gained from that. I think it's worthwhile.
but you didn't give him any money. Bill Cosby?
Well, Bill Cosby, did he really need to give them Quaaludes? I mean, without their permission, why couldn't he give them the Quaaludes with their permission? I've been with girls that took Quaaludes that didn't even tell me. So it's like, I don't understand what that was about, and I wonder if they didn't know.
Okay, Marilyn Monroe,
I think she died before I was 5.
so you don't know anything
Oh,
about
I
her
know quite a
either.
bit about her. I mean, she mixed up with some really bad people, and here's something I know that a lot of people don't know, and it's true. Marilyn Monroe was having an affair with Sonny Franchese, who was the chairman of one of the five families. I'm not saying that right, but I think he was the leader of one of the five families in New York. He was having an affair with Marilyn Monroe, and it was Sonny Franchese whose name Marilyn yelled out while she was having sex with Robert Kennedy. And it infuriated Robert Kennedy to the point that he went after Franchese so bad that ultimately Giuliani, it went, all throughout. Ultimately, Giuliani sentenced him to 50 years in prison. And I think he served most of his entire adult life in prison.
How is how is Marilyn Monroe and Rudy Giuliani the same time?
They're not, but the person that was who was persecuted was Sonny Franchese, and Michael Franchese was. I'm sorry,
Like,
I didn't break the Francheses up. So Sonny Franchese was actually he calls himself Franchise. So Sonny Franchise was gosh, I don't want to say that name wrong. So Sonny Franchise was the lover of Marilyn Monroe.
right. But then Giuliani persecuted this guy like years down the line,
Giuliani
or
prosecuted his son, Michael Franchise. That's how I know the story from Michael Franchise. He was the leader of the Colombo crime family. Yeah.
what do you think about Will Smith?
Which Will Smith? The early creative Will Smith, or the one that lost his mind and destroyed his career and probably will not make a comeback.
So you're not a fan.
Well, I liked him initially because he overheard me talking about a video game I was making when I was in the lobby of the Peninsula in Beverly Hills, and he actually looked over. He's actually a very big guy. He's like 6'6" or something, or at least he looked it. And he actually stopped his conversation and he kind of looked over to listen to what I was saying. And I should have approached him because I didn't know that he was interested in video games because that probably would have been the beginning of a collaboration. And maybe my company would have stayed in business.
Why did your company go out of business?
I shut it down over a dispute with Microsoft. I actually signed a contract for $10 million on with Steve Ballmer when Steve Ballmer was the CEO of Microsoft. I didn't keep a copy of it because I mean, it didn't really matter that much to me. But the way I just stuttered over it, I guess I should have. Um,
Yeah, it kind of sounds like you're making it up.
There you go again. See, this is why I like this girl, okay? She doesn't believe the things I say because they sound grandiose, but as I told the judge when the female psychology prosecutor was saying that, I have grandiose thoughts, I just looked at the judge, I say, "Hey judge, my life is grandiose." And he cracked a smile and it was all good.
That's
This
good,
happened. This
dude. That's
happened, by the way.
good.
This did happen.
What were you on trial for?
Why is that important?
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Let's just say that um, my girlfriend still had a husband, and he was afraid of me because he was a Leo, and he thought he was king of the jungle, and he wasn't.
Well, uh, if we're talking about Microsoft also, what do you think about Bill Gates, just while we're here?
Well, I mean, if I say what I really want to say about Bill Gates, you're just going to tell Sam to edit it out. So, you know, do you want to go there?
Well, maybe okay, I guess that kinda answers the question. Have you ever voted for a Democrat?
That would be a no.
Really? I thought you said you had once or something.
No. I probably voted for the Republican, but the software changed it to a vote for the Democrat, like they did for Joe Biden.
Mm,
Yeah, no, no.
mhm,
The first
okay.
time I ever voted was for Ronald Reagan. I voted for Ronald Reagan twice. I voted for George Bush once. I voted for Trump once.
Why would you vote for George Bush if you found out through the Reagan era that trickle-down economics doesn't work?
Well, I'm talking about George Bush Jr. And
Mm, well,
I'll tell you the
still.
reason. I saw George Bush Jr. give a press conference from his ranch, and he was wearing the same boots and the same belt that I had. I was like, I like this guy. That's it. That was the sole reason. He had the same boots that I was wearing, and he had the same belt.
And you're not vaccinated,
No,
and I am, so.
I'm not worried about it because I don't think we'll be passing bodily fluids.
But I mean, why do people act like mandated vaccines are a new thing? I mean, when you have a baby at the hospital, they make your baby get, like, 30 injections right when it's
Yeah, well,
born. Like, why are people all of a
my
sudden
babies didn't get 30 injections when they were born.
but most of these things are mandated to go to school, and you just forget about what, you're doing to your babies, like, and now all of a sudden COVID becomes a thing, and it just seems like because it's inconvenient for people, now, like, people become anti-vax, when at the time, like, you have to get vaccinations to get into public schools. You have to have MMR and you have to have all these other vaccines that no one said a word about for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, this really inconvenient virus comes around, and then we start talking about vaccines. Like, I just find that a little kind of
Do you want to get why, or do you just want to say you don't know why and you don't get why?
no, I want to get why.
You sure you want to get why?
Yeah, because it just seems like people are kind of being stupid.
Okay, here's the thing. First of all, oh boy. All right, you're gonna have to let me do this now because you asked, and if I don't give the full answers, I'm gonna lose the respect of all of my future possible subscribers. So you're gonna have to stand by now. By the way, what was the topic?
All right. On that note, Steve. On that
Oh
note,
no!
why don't
Oh no!
why don't we why don't we save it? Um, yeah, well, I feel like we've gone over some good stuff in this episode.
Okay.
You know what I like about you, Steve?
It's not my swashbuckling good looks.
No, I like that you're and this is, I think, maybe hard for people to understand, but I think it's kind of like sweet is that, you're so diametrically opposed to me in every way. We disagree on pretty much everything, but you listen, and I listen to you, and I think that's valuable, and I think that means something, and so many people don't know how to do that.
Wow, you know what that really means? We can make a ton of money as marriage counselors.
Marriage
Yeah,
counselors, because people need to just talk to
pretty
each other.
much. And not talk at each
Do you
other or
think
talk about each other, yeah.
do you think Democrats and Republicans just need marriage counseling?
No. No.
And all the like the Democrats and Republicans are like the parents, and then all the like independents and anarchists and other people are like the kids, you know?
No, what we need is we need a representative parliamentary system here because this doesn't work.
Well, I'm glad that we listen to each other. I think it's quite sweet.
Yeah, you do have quite a bit of an appeal that has nothing to do with your charm and good looks.
Great point, Steve.
I had a good time. I hope you did.
I had a great time, Samuel.
Sam, Sam, are you well?
I'm so well, Steve. Thank you.
Okay. You know, there is no color in the end. It's just blood.
Steve,
But,
there's no color in the end, it's just rainbows and butterflies.
um,
We're all just cosmic entities floating around loving each other in this beautiful dust of
all right.
stars.
Well, the two Haitian women at the Goodwill yesterday that saw me coming on to this really young, pretty Haitian girl that spoke French. She was extremely pretty. Um, when I came back, into the place, they were looking at me like, "Did you just try to hit on this girl who's black?" I was like, "What do you mean try to hit on her? You saw me." I was like, "What do you mean try?" and they, and they're like, and then they just look at each other and go, and I says, "I don't care what color she is." I said, "The girl's beautiful." And they just looked at me and they go, "In the end, we're all the same, and it's all the same blood."
Wow, so Steve O'Mystic, not racist, I guess.
I don't think I am. I mean, why would
I
I
love black people. I love them. I love them. They're great.
there's a lot of good ones. I'm sure there's good ones. That the problem with Trump was he didn't know when to shut up.
Problem with us too.
Well,
I relate to
well,
that. Maybe the only thing I relate to him on. I do like to talk. I do.
well, first of all, you're educated and you have basis for the things that you're saying. However, what you don't have is all of the information. That's sort of what I'm here for.
Okay. I can like half agree.
Where's the music, Samuel? How am I supposed to know the podcast is coming to an end? Where's the music?
Come on, Samuel, cue the music. Let it ring.
Okay, well, to me, music is the universal language. When I was sitting in the nightclub a couple of months ago in Thailand with my Thai friends that I had just played an hour set with, um, uh, they didn't need to know the name of the songs that I was playing, and they didn't need to know the words. They knew how to play along, and that there was just so much love involved in that we were able to communicate through the music. Callen,
Beautiful.
I love you both. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.